Hey there, Scott Peterson from Durazio Peterson. Today is FAQ Friday. It's a day where we answer a common question that we receive from friends, family, clients, colleagues about personal injury and accident cases in New York. And it's an opportunity to hopefully answer a question that maybe you're dealing with or looking into as you make your way through this process. Today we're talking about the question relating to dog bites or animal attacks. And the question that is pretty common is it true that every dog gets a free bite? So let's back up just a step here. The law in New York as it relates to animal attacks or dog bites in particular is interesting. What it says essentially is that in order for you to be responsible as a pet owner for an attack by a dog, you have to have been aware of that dog's vicious propensities. That term is a term of art, and it's up to some interpretation. But the question of what is or is not a vicious propensity is one that often leads to litigation and kind of comes up in these sorts of cases. So if you or your child, for example, were bit by a neighborhood dog, you may have had some very serious injuries. We've seen all sorts of severe problems come into our office as a result of dog bites and attacks. From loss of vision to severe scarring, you name it. Dog attacks can be brutal. And the question that we're always looking at is, what's this dog's history? What's this animal's history? If the dog has previously bitten someone, that is typically in and of itself proof of vicious propensities. So in that situation, that owner has had that sort of free bite and is now responsible for the injury. There's a idea of strict liability, so they are responsible for that second bite. The sort of grayer area comes in when you think about dogs who have not previously bitten anyone, but who have displayed clearly aggressive tendencies to friends, family, neighbors of the owner. And we often see this in situations where the person who's bit is a neighbor or a friend of the dog owner. And when you start to dig deeper into the situation, you realize that, well, this dog may not have bitten anyone in the past, but what they have done is, they've run after the mailman, or they've barked aggressively whenever anyone comes to the door, or the owner has had to put them away whenever somebody comes over because they're afraid that they're going to bite somebody. All of this sort of thing can lead to the idea or can be sufficient proof to establish that, that may be sufficient vicious propensities to make the owner responsible or liable for the injuries that you or your family member have suffered. So it doesn't have to be just one bite. It's not that clean cut. If the dog is vicious and aggressive and it's been clearly identified in the past, the owner's not just off the hook because the dog has never bitten anyone. So it varies case by case, but the reality is that if you or your family member have suffered a pretty bad injury as a result of a dog bite or an animal attack, you should look into your rights. This is what we do. We help people in these situations all the time, and we're happy to help if you have questions. So feel free to reach out to us. Again, we're happy to help.